We're there for our clients and always put their interests first.
So wait, you do it because you have to?
No, we do it because it's the right thing to do. Our clients trust us with their retirement savings, and we know how important that responsibility is. So we take the time to really get to know them.
Get to know them how?
We make sure we understand their unique goals, finances, health, family, and lifestyle so we can tailor their portfolio to their specific needs. Our goal is to help them achieve a comfortable retirement.
Sounds like a big responsibility. You must make big commissions then, right?
No, we don't sell commission-based products. We have one single transparent fee that's structured so we do better when our clients do better. Visit FisherInvestments.com to find out why investors like you are switching to us. Fisher Investments. Clearly different money management.
Investing in securities involves the risk of loss.
Nashville's first curling venue is here at T-Line Nashville. Come check out T-Line Nashville and experience the world's fastest growing winter sport today. Curling is a fun and simple sport that's a perfect outing for friends, corporate events, families, or parties. T-Line also has classic bowling and modern bowling mini games. With over 20 HD TVs, you can come watch your favorite teams and some of the best food and drinks here in Nashville in the large bar and grill area. They also have an outdoor area with a fire pit, and you can't forget the live music. T-Line Nashville is a one-stop shop for a great night out. Located at 106 Duluth Avenue and online at tlinenash.com. You can book your party now or give them a call at 615-439-1024. That's 615-439-1024. And make sure you give them a follow on Instagram and Facebook at T-Line Nash for all the news, events, and updates. T-Line Nashville. Nashville's first curling venue is here.
Listen, you can't handle the truth.
It's about to go off.
Live from the WNSR Strike and Spare Studios.
Just a bit outside.
It's the McFarland Show with Darren McFarland and Fox 17's Justin McFarland.
Show me the money!
Call now at 615-844-5600.
Oh, righty then.
Now, the McFarland Show with Darren and Justin.
And a good Monday afternoon to you. And yes, it is time for the McFarland Show here on WNSR. Hope everybody had a great weekend. Wonder what we're going to be talking about today.
I don't know. It's pretty slow out there.
Not much going on.
Maybe we can get into some Tennessee hoops coming up here.
January 9th.
Vandy hoops.
Yeah.
See what's going on over there in the college football, college basketball world. No, maybe not.
Maybe not. Not today. Maybe not today. Maybe not today. Of course, the Titans season did come to an end on Saturday night down in Jacksonville. Lots to break down and react to with that as we are officially in the offseason for the Tennessee Titans. And who would have thunk it when they started off 7-3 and had a 98% chance of winning the division and making the playoffs? Let me repeat that. They were 10 games into their season and 7-3, and they had a 98% chance. I grew up in the Kentucky system. I've been here for a long time now.
Yeah.
So I studied Kentucky math.
Good old Commonwealth education.
And even my Kentucky math tells me that's pretty good. 98% chance.
Good chances, good odds.
That seems pretty favorable.
Pretty solid.
Yeah, I feel like that's good ground to be on. I'd rather be at 98% than 2%.
Yes.
What do you think about that?
I think the 2% won.
And unfortunately, in this example, 2% did win.
2%.
And I love
came
2%.
out on top.
Look, I love 2% milk. I drink it
good
every day.
Stuff. Good
drink it every
stuff.
day.
Good stuff.
Every single day. But 2%, unless you're talking about milk, is not a good place to be.
Yeah.
It's just not. On chances of winning a division or making a playoffs, that category, 2% is not a good place to be. If the category was best milk on the shelves, I'd say, hey, 2%. That's your answer. 2%.
2%.
Best milk on the shelves, 2%.
Give me 2%. Bing.
2% for the win, Alex. Ding. Survey says.
Bing. All right.
But in this case,
It's a bad thing.
It's a bad thing. 98% is where you want to be. And ever since Todd Downing has had his incident after the Green Bay game, his DUI, they didn't win a game. Ever since they let go of John Robinson, their general manager, they didn't win a game. And they finished out their season losing 7 straight. Yeah.
It's about as ugly as you can get for two people who have covered this football team for a very long time. Out of all the things we have seen, we've seen 2-14, 3-13, 4-12. We've seen all kinds of things.
Seen bad. We know what bad looks like.
Okay,
yeah.
We've seen really bad around here, and I haven't seen something like this. You know, I've seen them surge. You know, there was the what was that, 2002, when they started off 1-4, then made the run, they got all the way to the AFC Championship game. So I've seen the surge.
Oh yeah.
I've seen the run where they get hot, but then you see the year where they started off kind of mediocre, then just tanked towards the end of the year. Not intentionally tanked. I mean, just lost a lot of games because they just weren't very good. So we've seen that, but I've never seen this. Not out of them. As a franchise, where they started off so well and just ended so terribly bad.
Yeah, in 2002, they lost to Washington here to start off their season 1-4, to your point. Bud Adams, the media caught up with him as he was leaving the stadium early.
Yeah.
Before the game even ended, because they lost 31-14. He was leaving in disgust, and he said, "We got out-coached, we got outplayed, we got out everything." Okay, I'm paraphrasing.
Yeah.
But that was the gist of his quotes.
In the parking lot.
Heading back to the airport to go back to Houston.
Yeah.
And then they went on a run. Imagine that.
Yeah.
It's amazing how motivated they played the rest of the way.
Yeah.
That tends to definitely motivate a coaching staff. There's no doubt about that.
However, that 2000, you said 2002, if I'm correct, that 2002 team was extremely talented.
Yes, it was.
With Steve McNair at quarterback there, and McNair hadn't even peaked yet because the MVP season was the next year. So this was Steve still on the ride up at this point. Derek Mason and all those guys were still there on that particular team. This team doesn't quite have those guys, and they could not find a way to win one of these games, which is just. I didn't think that would happen. I didn't think that Mike Vrabel and company wouldn't find a way to win one of these games somewhere.
Yep. Look, I think we're all in that boat, especially when you see the schedule the rest of the way and you lose to the likes of Houston, and it's just not good. It's not good at all. We have left the show wide open on purpose today because we knew we had a ton to get to, and we want to hear from you because you have things to say. We're going to move Vince to tomorrow. I told him, I said, look, man, the Titan season is over. I suspect people are going to be angry, and there's going to be a whole lot to talk about. So we'll talk with Vince, all things UT tomorrow, 615-844.
College football ender with Vince tomorrow as well.
5,600, yes, and the national championship game is tonight. Remember, it does kick off at 6:30. I wanted to pass that along because it's right, exactly. And that's why I'm telling you, because when I looked this weekend, I was like, 6:30?
You caught me off guard with
I
that.
expected it to be like
that.
7:30.
Okay.
But it's going to be 6:30 our time.
That's unusual start time,
I
but
know.
all right.
There you go.
Whatever.
Let's start things off here on this Monday afternoon with Doug and get his reaction. Doug, what's up?
Well, guys, I hate to disappoint you because, to be honest with you, I'm not angry. I saw this team lose for almost 2 months, so I didn't expect anything different. So this was what we've been seeing. But my question now is, there's a lot of reads that I have in my mind. Do you regroup? Do you remove? Do you reassess? What is going to repair this team? I thought about Mike Tomlin and the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Man.
He's had over 500 average, and they don't have a lot of different coaches. And that guy quietly, he's a GOAT. But we don't have that in Nashville, Tennessee. So what's the read that's going to fix it to just look like a Pittsburgh Steelers team? Well, you see the faces of the guys that say, hey, we're in it to win it. Mike Tomlin is never questioned about coaching. The ownership is on board. What's it going to take to repair.
What is your assessment? Since why don't you start the conversation?
To be unfair, it's my question, and I'm going to give this answer. You do all of it. You got to remove some people. Mm-hmm. You've got to repair some people. You've got to regroup. You've got to get your focus. You've got to reassess, am I doing the right thing as a player or coach, as an organization, to even get close to looking like a Pittsburgh team? And I don't want to keep saying Pittsburgh. There's other teams. There's dynasties like the Patriots. But you talk about the Pittsburgh Steelers with a handful of coaches in their whole history. And you have Mike Tomlin that everybody talks about, Antonio Brown. Hey, obviously that man knew what he was doing. He kept him tame, didn't he? So he's a great coach. So what does it take for the Tennessee Titans to look like that, or to even head in that direction? They say 30-something% is the turnover. You may see a 50. There's going to be names on jerseys that'll need Velcro to pull off and put on. So, again, I'm not angry because they did the same thing 6 months. How do you repair it?
Okay.
And I'm not a smart man. You know I'm not, but I'll leave that to you guys.
Yes, you are, Doug.
You are, Doug. It's a good, really good question we'll answer. Thanks for the phone call, as always. Let's start with the removing part. I'll just start with the low-hanging fruit that I've been saying for a good while. Todd Downing, it's just not good enough. I'm sorry. I'm not sorry. I don't have to apologize. We're paid to give our opinions, and I am not one. I've got a track record of not being one that gets on here and he sucks and he's me fired and he's loser. Like, that's not our job to do all that stuff, but it is our job to be honest to you and not insult you, because Doug, you and a ton of listeners and callers to this show are smart, okay? You're not dumb. You're smart, and we're not going to insult you by thinking you're dumb and acting like everything is fine and everything is beautiful. I don't do that with any sports team in this town. It's ridiculous that people actually do that. That's on our, has our platforms and acts like it just makes excuses all the time. It's boring. It's boring and it's weak because you're insulting the people who listen to you. And we're not going to do that. And look, I don't know Todd Downing at all. All I know is the last 2 years, it's just not good enough. The play calling is predictable. It's boring. If I can figure things out, and I'm certainly not qualified, I'm not. I'm not pretending to be a coach. I'm not pretending to be someone who played football my entire life. I shouldn't be able to see it at the levels that I do. The second half alone should have Mike Vrabel going in a different direction as an OC. Do you know how many points they scored in the second half, Justin?
3.
No. I'm sorry, fourth quarter. Excuse me. Fourth quarter.
What happened? What did I say?
No, I'm laughing because that was just how quick you said that. How many points did they score in the fourth quarter this entire season?
Oh, it's unfair. I know the answer to this because it's been flying around. But it's 37 points.
37 points.
It's been out there.
In the most important – look, they all count. They're all important.
I thought you meant this past game. I'm sorry.
But sometimes games are defined in fourth quarters. It's kind of an important quarter. It's the last one.
It is.
Of a game. They scored 37 points in the fourth quarter this season.
Yeah.
The Minnesota Vikings were down 33-0 at halftime.
Yes.
And in one game scored more than the Tennessee Titans did in the entire fourth quarter. That would have been in the entire – they scored more in a second half in one game than the Titans did the entire season in the fourth quarter. That alone tells you it's just not good enough. It's just not. And Mike Vrabel, free advice, don't insult everybody, man. Don't. If you try to trot him back, I'm just telling you, I'm warning you now. You already know this. You're a smart guy. It's not going to go over well, man. It's going to be bad. It's going to be really bad. If you want this just to continue to mount and be a distraction, because it was this year. Let's be honest. The Todd Downing talk has been consistent all year. You know why? Last year, it wasn't good enough last year. And you ran it back this year, and it wasn't good enough this year. It's not good enough. You can do better. I suspect on the remove part, that's going to be probably or needs to be number one, in my opinion.
All right, removing Todd Downing is high on Darren's priority list. I'm going to go a slightly different direction here because, the game is the game and it's whatever. To me, this is so much bigger than Todd Downing. It's so much bigger than Ryan Tannehill. It is so much bigger than everything. Doug, you asked, what do we need to do? What's the re? My re is complete, total demolition. And this is why. And I understand what's happening. Darren and I have known each other since 1998. That's when we met, or roughly. Darren and I began covering the Titans or the Tennessee Oilers. Yes, it was a real thing back in 1998. Darren, I've got in front of me here something that I want to just take the next couple of seconds here and illustrate my point and why I'm feeling like the way I'm feeling.
Okay.
In 1998, Darren, when you and I first began covering the Tennessee Oilers together.
At Vanderbilt
Stadium over there. I've got the list in front of me of the top rushing leaders that particular year, okay?
Okay.
Now, Terrell Davis went for 2,000 that year, okay? He played, of course, for the Denver Broncos. The Denver Broncos record was 14-2 with Terrell Davis going for 2,000 yards. Jamal Anderson went for 1,846 yards. The Atlanta Falcons that particular year, where Jamal Anderson went for 1,846, was 14-2. Garrison Hurst went for 15.
Wasn't that the Super Bowl, by the way?
That
Broncos,
was
Falcons.
The top two went to the Super Bowl. Garrison Hurst, by the way, 1,570 yards. He played for the 49ers. The 49ers, that particular year that Darren and I first started covering football here in Nashville, the 49ers went 12-4. Barry Sanders went for 1,491. I'm going somewhere. Stay with me, church. I'm going somewhere. Barry Sanders went for 1,491. His team went 5-11, so they were the outlier. But then last but not least, Emmitt Smith finished in 5th place that year in 1998. He went for 1,332 rushing. The Dallas Cowboys 10-6, first place in the old NFC East. This year, Josh Jacobs won the rushing title. Who's Josh Jacobs play for?
The Raiders.
Did they make the playoffs?
No.
Derrick Henry went for 1,538 in 16 games because he missed one. He could have gone for more. He missed one. Plays for the Tennessee Titans. Did they make the playoffs?
No.
Nick Chubb, 1,525. Who does he play for?
Browns.
Did they make the playoffs?
Devlin.
Do I need to answer that?
Okay. So what happened? How did we go in the lifetime that we've known each other, not going back to the 1940s, not going back to some bygone era, 1998, which a lot of people listening to the sound of my voice remember. How do we go from 4 of the top 5 leaders in football, not just playing for teams that were kind of good, they played for powerhouses. They were the rushing leaders. To 2022, where the top 3 leaders in rushing in the NFL played for teams that didn't make the playoffs. What in the world happened to this league?
This is a pass-happy league. It's a passing league.
The Titans are playing football, ladies and gentlemen, in 2022 with a 1980s and 90s model. And as much as I love Derrick Henry, and I do, I think Derrick Henry's fantastic. Who wouldn't love this guy? He is the best running back in the NFL over the past 5 years, and frankly, Darren, nobody cares. And that's what's sad. And so now we are trying our best to play and be relevant in a pass-happy league with a run-first team. And I don't know how that moves forward.
By the way, you said Josh Jacobs was the leading rusher this season. I would like to know how many people around the country even knew that. Honestly. How many people knew that?
And listen,
if you would have said, hey, who led the league in rushing this year? I'd say more people would guess Henry and Chubb before they would even say Josh Jacobs.
It gets deeper.
Go
ahead.
That's to your point.
It gets deeper.
The point is people aren't really paying attention to that.
When's the last time a running back won the MVP in the National Football League?
Well, we already know. I mean, I've been saying it. I've been saying this consistently for years. The NFL, it's just time. Have a quarterback award, an MVP quarterback award, kind of like Cy Young for pitchers.
Yeah.
Have your quarterback award and then have an MVP award. In other words, it gives somebody else who's not at a quarterback position a chance to actually be an MVP.
Yeah.
But unless you're a quarterback, you're just not going to get in the discussion.
You're not going to get it. All right.
You're not going to get in the discussion.
2012, AP was the last one in 2012 before him, LaDainian Tomlinson in 2006, okay? That was it.
It's like twice in 20 years.
Twice in almost 20 years. I think there was one with Sean Alexander, one more year. So it's like 3 times in the last 20 years that we've had an MVP. And it goes deeper, Darren. The Heisman. All right, the Heisman, three running backs
Same deal.
in the last 22 years. And this is where I'll stop here, Darren. This is my last point to illustrate this. And I've looked all this up. I've spent a long time thinking about this. The Tennessee Titans are 26-8 when Derrick Henry runs for over 100 yards. 26 wins, 8 losses. 5 of those 8 losses were this year.
No, the last 500-yard games
they have lost 5 games in a row where he goes for 100 yards.
Yep.
They've lost them all.
Used to be a guaranteed victory.
This has completely turned everything around. So, Doug, to answer your question, what do they need to do? How do they need to? To me, Doug, they have got to become a pass-first team and join the rest of the NFL. Because that's what's going on. It is no longer a running backs game. They don't care. They don't want to market it. They don't want to talk about it. They don't want to profile it. It is all about the quarterbacks and exclusively about the quarterbacks.
We have left today's show wide open today to react. It's that day. 615-844-5600. We'll step away for the first time. We'll come back. Tony in Nolensville will get us started as you listen to the McFarland Show. WNSR.
Located at 5410 Murfreesboro Road in the heart of Laverne, City Slickers is one-stop shopping for all your liquor, beer, and wine needs and has been a multiple winner annually in the Best of Rutherford County voting for Best Liquor Store and Top Wine Shop. Featuring the lowest prices, the best customer service with unsurpassed knowledge, City Slickers offers the largest craft beer selection in Rutherford and southeastern Davidson counties and has beer on tap at its Growler filling station. City Slickers also sells mixers, sodas, snacks, tobacco products, and the Tennessee Lottery, and can place special orders and assist with all your events and even wedding planning. Make sure you follow City Slickers on all their social media or just give them a call at 615-280-7469. That's 615-280-7469. Located in the heart of Laverne, City Slickers.
Individuals and businesses with tax problems, listen carefully. Do you feel like you're losing control of your finances? If you owe over $10,000 in back taxes or have unfiled tax returns, we can help you take back control. The IRS is the largest and most aggressive collection agency in the world, and they can seize your bank accounts, garnish your paycheck, close your business, and file criminal charges. Take control of your tax problem now by calling the experts at U.S. Tax Shield and take advantage of the Fresh Start program and new laws that may allow us to negotiate a settlement for the lowest amount possible. Our team of tax attorneys and enrolled agents can stop collections and get you protected so you can take control of your financial future. U.S. Tax Shield offers a price protection guaranteed quote to get you protected today. U.S. Tax Shield is A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau, so call now. 800-785-9132. That's 800-785-9132. U.S. Tax Shield. 800-785-9132.
Lieutenant, can you tell us what happened today?
Our officers responded to a crash on I-40 westbound this morning. The driver of a pickup truck lost control of the vehicle, veered left, and went into a ditch.
911, what's your emergency?
We've been in a crash. Please send someone. My fiance is hurt.
A front seat passenger was wearing a seatbelt. She survived without injury. The driver was not wearing a seatbelt and was ejected from the truck. He died at the scene.
Law enforcement writes tickets to save lives. Brought to you by the Tennessee Highway Safety Office.
It's the afternoon stretch with Zach Williams and Bruno Reagan.
Coming off his second straight SEC win, this one at the bank. Clark Lee, thanks so much for joining us.
Hey, this is my favorite time of the week to be with you guys, so I'm happy to be here.
If you think that's not going to be on a promo, Clark, you are sadly mistaken,
Clark,
sir.
you just made the haters so furious, so thank you very much.
The afternoon stretch. Afternoon stretch with Zach Williams and Bruno Reagan.
Titans season is over. After having a 98% chance of winning the division and making the playoffs, we are not previewing a playoff game this weekend at Nissan Stadium. Hard to believe. 2 months ago, you would have laughed at me really, really hard or called in and called me names that we can't use on the radio if I would have said 2 months ago they'll not make the playoffs. But they have not made the playoffs.
I'm sorry. Something's bothering me deeply that I just want to speak on very quickly before we get back to the phones. There's a graphic on FS1 right now. It says Trevor Lawrence is officially Peyton Manning 2.0.
Stop it.
Trevor Lawrence, Saturday night.
I didn't think he was that good.
You know why you don't think he was that good?
I was not impressed.
Because he wasn't all that good.
No.
And I'm not saying that because, I'm so you just sour because no.
He missed wide open players.
His team scored 13 points and needed a defensive bailout to win the game.
Yeah.
Not him.
No.
He didn't do it.
No.
He didn't do it. Trevor Lawrence is not the reason the Jacksonville Jaguars won Saturday night. Now, he didn't cost them the game, but he did not win that game for them.
No.
Not at all.
I was unimpressed. I'll just say that. Look, it's year 2. It's still early in his career, but I'm just saying right now, he's like Justin Herbert. By the end of year 2, I was like, I was wrong. I was like, I wouldn't draft him in the first round when he was coming out. I was like, I wouldn't draft Justin Herbert in the first round. By the end of year 2, I was like, yeah, I was wrong. He's way better than I thought he was going to be in the NFL. I'm not saying that. I said Trevor Lawrence was can't miss when he was at Clemson. I was like, can't miss. Surefire franchise changer. Surefire. I sit here today, I don't know. I mean, I think he's still really good.
He is really
good.
good.
Not. Don't start talking about Mahomes
but don't
Peyton
do that.
Manning. Just stop
Don't
it.
do Peyton Manning 2.0.
Stop it.
Don't do that.
Stop it.
He threw 1 touchdown the other night. Get out of here.
Stop it. 615-844-5600. Let's go to Tony in Nolensville. Tony, what's up?
Good afternoon, guys.
Tony,
First
I just
of all,
wanted to let you know, took the family yesterday to Cracker Barrel, had a nice meal yesterday morning for breakfast.
Well, that is great. I'm
Thank
glad
you.
everybody
So thank
got
you.
to enjoy.
Yes, thank you.
Yes, sir. You're more than welcome. And as I've said before, my little token of my appreciation of all y'all and what you do and the sports you bring us. Which brings me to the statement of Friday, I told you the Jackrabbits of South Dakota State was going to take down North Dakota State.
And they did.
It happened. It happened in a big way. And, guys, in case you didn't remember, and I said this earlier today, their only loss this year was a 7-3 loss to Iowa in the first game of the season, with Iowa beating them with a field goal and 2 safeties, 7-3. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Now, let's get to the topic at hand, the Titans. First of all, Vrabel, if you're going to go out and try to insult all of us and protect your close relationship friend and buddy Downing, don't insult us by you embarrassing yourself cuddling him and protecting him. If you don't let him go, you're crazy. Y'all, yesterday, 28 first down plays. 28. The first, not the first, but 24 of the 28 were running plays with Derrick Henry. If that's not predictable, I don't know what is. And that's just total embarrassment. Not to mention all the holes they're going to have to fill on offense. They're going to have to fill a lot of holes. And then secondly, when he wants to call out players about their injuries and soft tissue and all that stuff, you know what? He needs to take a good, long, hard look at what's wrong with his staff in the strength and conditioning portion, because of 2 years in a row leading the league in injuries, and something's wrong with that. If not that, take a look at your practice procedures and maybe instill a little contact instead of the two-hand touch. I think that might get people, the body has got to get physical, and the body has to get used to contact. And I don't know what's going on over there. We've talked about it several times. It's ridiculous how many players, almost 200 players in 2 years, have had injuries over there. Something's wrong with that. So with all being said there, y'all touched on a lot of it. 37 points, the inadequate first down plays. It's a what do they call it, Darren? It's a total discombobulation.
It's a dumpster fire.
And that's what, right, dumpster fire. And that's what we have seen 7 weeks. This team had a 3.5, 4-game lead, setting 7-3, and lose 7 in a row. And one of those that they lost in the middle of the 7 in a row, it was to a team that had lost 9 in a row. They really need to look at a lot of things. So that's my take. A little upset, everybody is, but maybe they can find some players in this draft. Thank you guys for letting me vent and throwing a lot out there. Y'all might want to touch on some of it.
All right. Thank you, Tony. Appreciate it. Look, as for, and I know Mike Vrabel, we haven't played any of his, end of the year press.
End of the year.
Clean out day.
Yep.
End of the year presser. We haven't played any of it yet. We'll get to it in a little bit. He was asked specifically about that. Look, I don't expect him to talk about any firings of a coaching staff today. He's not going to do that through a press conference. So I understand that. He was specifically asked about their strength and conditioning, their injury problems, and he deflected and he defended. And again, I don't expect him to. He's not going to trash. He's not going to do that. And I'm not saying that what he said he doesn't believe. But I will say this. When you do it, when you run it back and you do the same thing, last year was historical. It had never happened. It was the most times in NFL history, most injuries, most guys they had trotted out in one season. Okay, that could be viewed as an anomaly. But when you run it back and you do it again, I start to question it's bad luck. I find it hard to believe that it's just simply bad luck. Now, am I over there every day? No. Am I over there behind the scenes? No. I don't know what they're doing, what they're not doing. I just know when you run it back and you do it yet again, it's hard for me to put that in the bad luck category.
Well, what if he changed something? He just didn't change the right thing. And I don't know. I'm not over there either. But, I find it hard to believe that he looked at last year and then didn't change anything. He changed something, he says. He says he did. But maybe he's not changing the right thing. Clearly he's not. That we're back in the same situation with the injuries. So I don't know what the right thing to change is. I mean, he can't wrap everybody in bubble wrap and wait for the game. But so I don't really understand. And he says, something interesting that we'll hear in the press conference later today, I'm sure, is 90% of the injuries happen in games. These are in-game injuries. So they're not getting hurt in practice. They're getting hurt during the game. So what do you do about that? So it's not something that's happening during training They're not doing practice so hard that they can. I mean, I don't know. We've asked Jim Wyatt. We've asked Teresa Walker. We've asked Terry. We've asked all kinds of people who have been over there. They've talked to everybody. They've seen it. They don't know either. They don't know either. And I don't, I've got nothing for why this is happening. I have theories, and we all have theories, but I don't know. And it's just, I don't know what I want Coach to say about it. I mean, he spoke about it today, but whatever he says, I'm just gonna have to take because I don't know what I want him to say. I really don't.
He did a lot of, he referenced the Ryan Tannehill, what do you want him to do? You got rolled up. Okay, okay. I get that.
Well, he did.
I get. Okay.
He got rolled up.
Yeah, but what about all the other guys?
And Traylon Burks got a forearm to the head, and he was knocked out, for a few games. And
he also had a groin injury.
He did. He had a groin injury. And listen, he spoke about some of that as well, and about the kind of players that we are drafting to begin with. Or bringing in
he
here.
Did, and that's fine.
He touched on that. He didn't go deep on that, but he touched on that.
But it's easy to go there. I get it. That guy is out.
That guy ain't here.
That's
so,
fine. And it's, by the way, it's true. There is a lot of truth to that. But here's where I go with this, Justin. This is what I also have a hard time with. A.J. Brown, the knock on him was he's great. He's elite. He's a number one receiver. But what?
He's hurt all the time.
Hurt all the time.
He ain't out there.
Well, okay. And he goes to Philadelphia, and he plays how many games this year?
I think he played in all of them.
Well, you don't have to think. I'll tell you.
Okay.
He played in 17 games this year. You know how many games they played in the regular season?
17 these
17.
days.
He played in every single game.
Mm-hmm.
Roger Saffold, what was the knock on him? He's really good at left guard, Roger Saffold, man. He's a veteran. He's really good. Yeah, but but
yeah, he got shoulder, chest.
He's got shoulders. He's got something going on. Jeez, this is some games. Well, he goes to Buffalo and
got something going on.
Son of a gun! If he isn't playing all the games too, why? How is that possible?
Well, what do you think? How is that possible?
Do you think again? Is that just bad luck?
I don't know. I don't know what it is.
How do you explain that?
Again, we all have theories. All I can say is maybe are they playing a rougher style of football with the Titans? Are they, being a little bit more aggressive? Again, I've already explained that they are playing a very different style compared to what we used to do they're playing a style that is very similar to what we used to do in the National Football League as far as running the ball. Running the ball is physical.
Yeah.
It just is. Running the ball is physical.
When you hear road grader, is that pass protection or running the football?
That's running the football.
That's running the football. When you hear an offensive lineman described as a road grader.
Yeah, earth mover.
Earth mover. It's not in pass protection.
No. And, I would venture to say that pass protection is a little less physical than running the football. So it would seem. I've never played the position, neither of you, so I'm just saying that's what it would seem. So maybe there's less injuries doing that. And that includes for wide receivers as well. They're not out there trying to get one-on-one and toss a cornerback, or get in the way of a cornerback. They're sacrificing their body, so it's different than it is for just going to catch a ball. But again, are we asking Mike Vrabel to do what? Run the football less? Throw more? I know I am a little bit. I'm just saying I think the team should be more pass-centric than run-centric only because it's not a style preference. It's just what's working in the rest of the league. It's a copycat league. The rest of the league is throwing the ball.
Yep.
The run leaders are not going anywhere these days. They're just not.
Let's go down to Columbia. Nate is up next. Nate, what's up?
Hey, guys. How y'all doing?
Good.
All right, Nate.
So, Darren, are we sure that a certain Penguin player did not make his way to Jacksonville for a couple days. Then the likes of Sidney Crosby when Dobbs got his head shoved into the ground.
When who got his head shoved into the ground? Oh, Dobbs. Yeah.
Yeah, at the end,
Yeah.
basically at the end of the game, he got his head shoved into the ground.
Yeah.
And what's y'all's opinion on whether that would be roughing the passer or not? Because there were a good amount of people on social media saying that it probably should have been, because the way they are supposedly protecting the quarterback these days.
Well, we already saw that in the game before. I mean, I believe 100% in that Houston game, that play, a big-name quarterback in the league, that's called roughing the passer all day long.
Yeah.
All day long.
And Joshua Dobbs is not a big-name
Joshua
quarterback.
Dobbs was making his
He's
first
not gonna
NFL
get the-
start.
he's not going to get the call.
Just like I will tell you, and look, we haven't even gotten into this part yet. We haven't even gotten into it. I will tell you that if that was Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen, Justin Herbert, Aaron Rodgers,
or Trevor
Tom
Lawrence.
Brady, or maybe even Trevor Lawrence.
Absolutely.
If that exact same play happens, I believe they call that an incomplete pass.
Well, I know this. They would have looked at it longer than
that was my beef.
30 seconds.
This is what I said, and I had conversations with people in the league yesterday. And I said, I want an outsider's perspective, someone who's in the league, someone that works in the NFL, but is not associated with the Titans. So I know you're not biased, right? What is – and because I said to these folks that I talked to, I said, I don't feel 100% strongly that the wrong call was made. I feel strongly that the wrong call was made. But I'm not, like, ready to jump up and down and scream, right, for 2 hours that it was the wrong call. I feel like really smart people could maybe even sway me a little bit. But here's what I cannot be taken off of. This is what I can't be convinced to think differently. And, Justin, you were just hitting on it. That call, if you come back and call it the way you did, you just ended a team season and you put another team in the playoffs. And what I have a problem with is you went over there and you ran quickly back, and before we could even think about it, look at it again, you had already made a decision. It was a fumble for a touchdown. And I have a huge problem with that.
The guys upstairs made a decision.
I have a huge problem with that.
Yeah, because I refuse to believe that the ref actually went and looked at that.
There's no way you could look at
Upstairs
that
made a
play
decision.
that long or that little of time and determine, by the way, if you come back and say it's a fumble return for a touchdown, you just ended a team season. I want you to look at that a little bit longer.
Also, I know we got to go, but I got one quick question and then some news. Well, two newses, I guess. Real quick. So it looks like DeMar has gone home or is on his way home.
Yes.
And that is great news.
Yes, it is.
And I think that the game got really swung after the takeaway of Henry's run on the hold. I think that was basically the change of the game. I don't know how y'all felt about that.
I think so.
But he was holding him, though, on that one. He held him.
Who was it again?
He did.
Actually, I don't even remember. Was it Dennis Daly?
Yes, it was.
All right.
Wasn't it?
Yeah, he
wasn't it Daly?
He did.
I don't want to accuse him.
I don't remember.
thought
I
it
don't
was
think
Daly.
it was Daly, but
Okay,
I don't
maybe
remember
not.
either. So go for it. Yes, Nate.
Well, yeah, it was a hold. And just because I told y'all, it's a girl.
Congratulations.
Oh, nice.
Congratulations.
Very nice, Nate. Congratulations.
That's awesome,
Y'all
man.
have a great day.
You too, man.
All right, we'll come back and talk about this a little bit more. Congratulations to you guys. 615-844-5600 is how you can get in touch with us. More of the McFarland Show next.
Are you looking for a trusted partner who knows AT&T business inside and out? ABS Communications is an organization built on the premise that telecom solutions and working with companies like AT&T can often be complicated, and the customer needs someone to help them navigate through these complexities. They make complex simple. Whether it's helping maintain, manage, or secure your business, ABS Communications is here to help with all your business telecom and mobility needs. Their business was built with the goal of simplifying the process of connectivity for the customer and establishing a long-term relationship of trust through transparency and accountability. ABS Communications is a top 5 AT&T authorized agent with over 200 years of AT&T technical experience. You can call Mark and the gang at 615-349-8588, or you can visit their website at abscomm.net. And remember, mention the McFarland Show to ABS, and you could get up to $250 in a Visa gift card for new ABS business customers.
Without the ones like you, who work tirelessly to keep things running, everything would suddenly stop. Hospitals, factories, schools, and power plants, they all depend on you. No matter the weather, emergency, or time of day, you're the ones who get it done. At Grainger, we're here for you with professional-grade industrial supplies. Count on real-time product availability and fast delivery. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Hi, this is Joe Cordell with the law firm Cordell & Cordell. When the prospect of divorce becomes a reality, you need a partner that you can count on. If you're a man in this situation, consider contacting Cordell & Cordell. We've helped men navigate complex legal matters for 30 years.
Online at CordellCordell.com, 317-322-0122, 101 West Ohio Street, Suite 1250, Indianapolis, Indiana, 46204. Joseph Cordell, licensed in Missouri and Illinois only.
Needing a snow day? How about a dough day? Instant games from the Tennessee Lottery are bringing winning flurries and drips of cold, hard cash. With chances at breathtaking top prizes up to $4 million. Sled to your nearest Tennessee Lottery retailer and score a chance at a dough day. Only from the Tennessee Lottery. Game-changing fun. Please play responsibly.
Your exclusive National Sports Radio, WNSR Skyscan forecast. Today is going to be partly sunny with a high of 50. Partly to mostly cloudy tonight, low 34. Tuesday, mostly sunny, high 60. Wednesday, mostly cloudy, high 62. Utilizing the resources of the Weatherbug Network on National Sports Radio, I'm WNSR's meteorologist, Jim Rinaldi.
Sports Radio, WNSR.
Back here on the McFarland Show on this Monday afternoon, reacting to what took place Saturday evening in Jacksonville. 615-844-5600. Darren and Justin here with you from the Strike and Spare Family Fun Center studio. Devlin is alongside. We'll be here until 4 o'clock, so I apologize to Dennis Daly. It was not him on the hold.
No.
It was Chick.
Chickakwanko.
Who had a really good game.
He did.
And I think he's going to be a good player.
Yes, he is.
Moving forward. I really do.
I think he's TE1 for me.
In fact, I really thought that was an excellent pass from Dobbs.
It's a beautiful pass.
To Chig down the left sidelines for that touchdown.
Beautiful touch.
I could, looking at that play again, going back to that play, I really felt like it would have been called an incomplete pass. His forward motion, if it was a different quarterback. But I think Joshua Dobbs is just not going to get any benefit of the doubt because he's Josh Dobbs making his second ever NFL start. And I think, again, I go back to my biggest problem was they didn't look at it very long at all. It was super quick. And I'm like, really? There's 3 minutes to go in the game or less than 3 minutes to go in the game. And you are deciding the fate of a team.
Yeah.
And you come back that quickly, like that to me is where I need you to take a little bit of time. Even if you've already made up your mind, I need you to give off the impression that you're looking at this thoroughly. It was not, to me, it was not that quick of a decision.
I would love to get the actual time of how long that took. Because it wasn't, I know one thing, it wasn't very long. They didn't even go to commercial.
No.
They stayed right there in that moment, and I mean, it seemed really fast. They came back and they just decided, all right, then, this is going to be, Jacksonville's W. We're moving on to next week. But again, the league has moved on to a passing league again. And, and listen, I'm not a conspiracy theorist or anything like that, but.
I was out there on Twitter, though, Saturday night.
Listen, you can't tell me, and I work in television, you can't tell me that the Jacksonville Jaguars taking on the Chargers coming up here this weekend is a more compelling game than the Titans taking on the Chargers. It just is. It's from a marketability standpoint and everything. I mean, it just seems like it's going to draw a few more eyeballs. And so if they got an opportunity to get the Jaguars in there, I mean, it is what it is.
I don't know if you know this, but the Chargers and the Jags played this year already.
I've heard about that, yes. And I don't know, maybe that's not the case. Maybe everything is on the up and up.
But the Titans and Chargers have played too.
They have. And maybe they've looked at both of those games and decided, you know what? Maybe you want part 2 of this one and not that one.
Look, I don't believe the league thinks like that. I know all the people. But I understand why people think that way. I do. I get it. I don't believe the league said, hey.
It just seems awfully convenient.
We need Trevor Lawrence and Jacksonville in there.
It just seems awfully convenient. I don't know.
Is it a sexier matchup? Yeah, it is. It just is. Because it's Trevor Lawrence versus Justin Herbert.
Mm-hmm.
And so that is the sexier matchup. I get it. But I just am disappointed that it was that quick. Way too quick on a call like that. To decide the fate of a team, way too quick.
It was real fast.
When it is not a cut and dry call. Not at all. Not in my opinion.
No.
Let's go to Bill up in Hendersonville. Bill, what's up?
Hey, fellas. Happy Monday.
Yes, sir.
How we doing?
Doing good, man.
Good. I want to make one point about the Titans game, but first let me be probably the only person on Nashville radio to give a big congratulations to the new reigning and defending FCS champion South Dakota State Jackrabbits.
Tony beat you to it.
Tony beat you, Bill. We already had a caller beat you to it.
Yep.
Oh, well, good for Tony. Oh, Tony, Happy New Year, buddy. But they absolutely dominated. That's the first time I've ever seen North Dakota State have their offensive and defensive lines dominated by a team. I watched a lot of Bison football, and that is the first time I have ever seen them that dominated. It was impressive, to say the least. But let me talk just a minute about what you guys have been discussing. I know the play you're talking about. I sat and watched the game. But how much of that play, fellas, was the inexperience of Josh Dobbs not checking to pick up the blitzer? Because that blitzer came scot-free and bashed into him, causing him to fumble the football. So I want to just throw that out there and see what you guys think. Appreciate it.
Okay, thank you, Bill, as always. We'll step away, take our final break, come back, and discuss that to close out the first hour. That's next.
Are you tired of your current vehicle? Maybe looking for a new or pre-owned vehicle? Hey guys, it's Zach. Hayes Nissan of Rivergate is the best choice for your vehicle needs. Located at 1550 Gallatin Pike North in Madison, Hayes Nissan of Rivergate has been serving the Middle Tennessee community for over 3 decades. That gives you confidence that Hayes Nissan of Rivergate can find the perfect vehicle for your lifestyle and your budget. Their friendly and knowledgeable staff will make sure you are taken care of. I should know because I've seen it firsthand. Every vehicle I've purchased has been from Hayes Nissan of Rivergate, and I love the entire process. Now, I don't want you to forget about their award-winning parts and service department. It has everything you need to get you back on the road. Go visit them on the web at nissanofrivergate.com. They're open there 24/7, 365 days a year. Or give them a call at 615-865-7220. Again, that number is 615-865-7220. That's Hayes Nissan of Rivergate, where your dollar always goes farther.
Now is the perfect time to download FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. Join today and get started with $150 in free bets guaranteed. When you place your first $5 bet, that's a free bet back. Your first bet doesn't win. Just sign up with promo code WNSR. FanDuel has all your favorite bets, from the money line to point spreads to player props. You can combine your bets for a chance at a bigger payout with the same game parlay. With live betting, you'll get updated odds on games that have already started. Super easy to use. Don't fumble your chance to get $150 in free bets. Win or lose with the promo code WNSR. Make every moment more this season with FanDuel, the official sportsbook partner of the NFL. You must be 21 years of age or older and present here in Tennessee. First online real money wager only. $10 first deposit required. Bonus issued, non-withdrawable. Free bets that expire in 14 days after receipt. Restrictions do apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call the Tennessee Red Line, 1-800-889-9789.
With 13 locations nationally, including Smyrna, Star Leasing Company is a semi-trailer one-stop shop and the perfect place to build a career as a semi-trailer mechanic. Seeking candidates with all levels of experience, Star Leasing Company has a semi-trailer technician trainee program with sign-on and quarterly bonuses and other opportunities such as $1,000 for having a yearly physical. Package also includes 401k with company match, health, dental, and vision insurance, competitive pay with weekly paychecks, and paid holidays and time off. Star Leasing Company, not your typical semi-trailer leasing company. Visit starleasing.com to learn more.
It's a Bill Keane Show.
In Little League football, they play it off. You can't do it in college football, Bill. You got to come up with a bunch of computers and some BCS cockamamie scheme. My answer was yes. It's unique. Absolutely love it. I go into my garage every day and make sure there are no dust particles on those BCS computers. I do that.
Weekday mornings beginning at 6 on Sports Radio 560 on 95.9 FM.
We'll hear a little bit of what Mike Vrabel said today to the media, coming up to begin the second hour of the program. So Bill in Hendersonville called in and asked about the inexperience of Dobbs on that play.
Mm-hmm.
Now, he did have the bad pick in the second half. I mean, look, was Dobbs perfect?
No.
No. He wasn't perfect for either game. Were there signs of he looked pretty good at times? Yeah, there was. Mm-hmm. Was there signs that he was the way better option than Malik Willis? In my opinion, 100% yes.
Not really.
100%.
But okay.
Willis, yeah. We don't need to go down that path.
But so we don't need to do that.
We've
but okay.
done that. But yeah, 100% over Willis. I don't even think Willis is going to be here. But, I mean, yeah, he's a guy. There's a reason why he's in year 6 and he's just making his first 2 starts in the NFL. I mean, we know he's not a perfect product. I mean, it's to be expected, but they could have done a whole lot worse than Josh Dobbs. I'll tell you what, looking at some of the quarterbacks they trotted out this weekend, I'd take Josh Dobbs over that mess in the Dolphins-Jets game.
I mean,
holy crap. You're talking about setting football back 50 years.
A lot to figure out there.
Oof.
You know, Bill, to answer your question there about whether or not it was his inexperience that led to that, Bill, honestly, I don't think so. I've seen very experienced quarterbacks make that exact same mistake. What we saw with Joshua Dobbs on that particular play, on the strip sack, is not an unusual play. That happens all the time. The blitzer was disguised. It came up on his blind side. Dobbs didn't feel him. And, you know, it happened. And, you know, that's going to happen to a lot of quarterbacks, not just Joshua Dobbs. That's going to happen to experienced quarterbacks. That happens to Ryan Tannehill. You know, so it's just one of those things, man. You know, just good play by them, good disguise. He never saw it.
I think, and we'll hear, I think this portion of Mike Vrabel, it seemed like, and we could discuss a lot of what we hear in the second hour. It almost sounded like he was saying goodbye to Josh Dobbs, which kind of surprised me.
I didn't take it that way, but I understand.
It seemed like he was saying kind of like past tense, like it was great to have him. You know,
yeah.
It's almost like
we enjoyed having him.
Like he's almost like, man, appreciate you.
Well,
we'll see you later.
That's Coach Vrabel this time of the year towards like 90% of the team, because he knows that if there's a guy here, and really it's for any guy. But if you don't have a contract beyond this year, You don't have to be here. And we don't have a GM. The GM may come in, not like you.
Yeah.
And you go. I mean, so this is not, he's like that about a lot of guys this time of the year who don't have contracts. And, I don't think he's within the power to give Joshua Dobbs the contract offer right now to stay with the team. So if somebody else decides, you know what, we love that, that's exactly what we need, and comes and signs him, what is he going to do about it? It was nice having you here.
I do think that's going to be a really interesting topic in the offseason, as we are currently in the offseason.
We are.
But I'm talking about for the next, 6 months.
Yeah.
Is Dobbs the backup next year?
It depends on what the team is next year.
Yeah.
And that's going to have to be determined by the general manager. The GM's got to come out and figure out which direction we're going, which when we get into the GM discussions and start diving through some of these resumes, we're going to start to get a clearer understanding about where we're going as a franchise. So, if we're staying with what we've been doing, then yeah, Dobbs will be all right as the backup. But if we're switching gears and moving to something different, maybe he won't be a good fit at all.
Well, we'll have plenty of time to get into that, that's for sure. We'll come back. We'll start the second hour, hear a little bit from head coach Mike Vrabel, hear what he had to say earlier today. We'll do that next.
On air and online, Sports Radio WNSR, Brentwood, Nashville.
ABC News, I'm Morgan Norwood. Trade and immigration will be on the agenda as President Biden sits down later today with Mexico's President López Obrador, his first meeting at the North American Leaders Summit in Mexico City. Mr. Biden joined López Obrador and Canadian President Trudeau in a joint statement condemning the attacks on Brazil's government buildings by supporters of former right-wing President Jair Bolsonaro. More than 7,000 New York City nurses are on strike, demanding more staffing and better work schedules, a common complaint of nurses nationwide during the pandemic.
We need for them to put the staffing ratios in the contract and also provide safe staffing enforcement, and they have refused so far.
Nancy Hagans, president of the New York State Nurses Association. It's the last day on the job for Nebraska Senator Ben Sasse. The Republican is resigning to become president of the University of Florida. This is ABC News.
At Fisher Investments, we do things differently, and other money managers don't understand why.
Because our way works great for us.
But it may not work for your clients. That's why Fisher Investments is a fiduciary, obligated to put clients first. It's the highest standard for a financial advisor.
So, what do you provide? Cookie-cutter portfolios like the rest of us?
No cookie-cutter portfolios here. Fisher Investments tailors portfolios to meet each client's goals and needs.
But you do sell investments that earn you high commissions, right? And make commissions when you make trades for your clients?
No, Fisher Investments doesn't sell any commission investment products, and we never earn commissions on trades.
So what's in it for you?
Fisher Investments fees are structured so we do better when our clients do better. When it comes to helping clients achieve a comfortable retirement, we're clearly different. Visit FisherInvestments.com to find out why investors like you switch to us. Fisher Investments, clearly different money management.
Investments in securities involve the risk of loss.
I studied Spanish in college and never got fluent. But then I tried Babbel.
Want the most effective way to learn another language? In just 15 minutes a day, Babbel's bite-sized lessons will have you learning another language in as little as 3 weeks.
Babbel is all conversation-based, so it gets you speaking quickly about things you actually talk about in the real world.
You'll really see a difference in how you can speak and how conversational you can be in just a few weeks.
Babbel isn't just lessons. You can listen to podcasts, play games, watch videos. You can even take live online classes with a language teacher. There are so many ways to learn with Babbel.
The lessons online and in the app make it easy to learn from pretty much anywhere.
University studies have shown that using Babbel for 15 hours is equivalent to a semester of college Spanish. If you want to learn a new language, there's no better way than Babbel. Go to Babbel.com to try for free. That's Babbel.com. Babbel.com.
Listen, you can't handle the truth.
It's about to go off.
Live from the WNSR Strike and Spare Studios.
Just a bit outside.
Now back to the McFarland Show with Darren McFarland and Fox 17's Justin McFarland.
Show me the money!
Call now at 615-844-5600.
Alrighty then.
Now the McFarland Show with Darren and Justin.
Second hour here on this Monday afternoon. Cliff Kingsbury has been shown the door in Arizona as the Cardinals head coach. I've only been saying that on the show for 2 months. Watching the Hard Knocks, it was very clear. Cliffy wasn't going to make it.
Well, it was very clear by the record that he wasn't going to make it either. You know, I think it was 27, 38, and 1.
Yeah, not good.
One playoff appearance and goodbye.
So they'll be looking in the market for a new GM as well.
Yes. A lot of movement, as there always is. I mean, this is Black Monday in the NFL, and actually it hasn't been as bad as it has been in previous years because 3 of the franchises made their move before, Monday in this case. The Colts, the Panthers, and the Broncos had already fired their coach in the middle of the year.
Yeah, and I was a little upset because I said Cliff Kingsbury was going to be the first one shown the door the Monday after the regular season, and damn those Texans.
They couldn't even wait.
Well, once Lovey won that game, they're like, you're fired.
They hired him less than a year ago.
Yeah. Well, he was the DC the year before.
Well, I guess that's true. But I mean, to be the head coach. They hired him less than a year ago to be the head coach.
Well, they hired him within. He was already on the staff. So, again, it's a joke. Like, the Texans are a joke of an organization. If they really think the last 2 years it's coaching is the reason, no.
I mean,
doesn't matter who you had a coach, okay?
I don't know if they know what they're doing down there or what's going to happen down there. But, and listen, we may be getting close to one of those situations. We haven't heard this yet, but it's not uncommon, or it wouldn't be the first time, that one of these hotshot quarterbacks decide, I'm going where? Oh, no, I'm not going over there.
Out.
Tell you what, how is this USFL looking? Is that pretty good? Well, let's talk about this XFL thing. Is that all right? Or what if I just decide, you know what, I'm going to get my graduate degree at my preferred university.
Or just do what Eli Manning did. Just told San Diego, I'm not signing there, so don't draft me.
Don't draft me because I'm not coming.
I won't sign there. I will not play for you.
And don't test me.
Yeah.
I mean it.
That's how he ended up with the Giants.
I don't have to be here.
Yeah, he told San Diego, I'm not you draft me, I'm not signing there. So if you want to waste a pick, then draft me. I won't sign there.
And the Texans,
didn't Elway do that?
John Elway did do that.
With the Colts?
It was the Colts, yes.
I'm not signing there. Don't draft me.
Yes.
No, I'm not going to play for you.
Not going to do it. Don't bother. Not coming.
Yep. So Lovie Smith was shown the door last night after they snuck up and beat the Colts. And Cliff Kingsbury was shown the door today. All right. Well, there's a lot of other stuff to get into. A lot of candidates are coming out for the Titans. But first, let's hear a little bit of what Mike Vrabel had to say earlier today.
Mike, with all the injuries this year, how much do you take that into account assessing the offensive performance and Todd Downing as coordinator?
Well, I think you take into everything when you evaluate, all levels of the organization. There were things, I think the consistency, is really the biggest thing, that stood out when you look at that particular unit and our units in general. There were conversations that we had earlier in the season, about our special teams being just one play away from being a dominating performance in the game where we played really well and, punted and covered and tackled them inside the 20 and had punt returns and kickoff returns. And then, as attrition happened and, had some guys down and moving parts and bringing people in from other places, that happened offensively, that happened defensively, and happened on special teams. So, I think you look at it and you evaluate everything that you're doing and, who you're doing it with and the staff that you put in place for the players.
Mike, in terms of just where this organization is, in your mind, are you better off with a minor changes and better luck, or major changes?
Well, I mean, I think change is obviously a part of this league. It's part of, professional sports. I think that there'll be conversations, here in the short term about, the general manager and where that goes. And then that person and I will have conversations. We'll have conversations with Amy, about the extent of the change that we have. I don't think that that's something that is going to happen, necessarily overnight, but there's going to be, change.
How about within the coaching staff? I know, you preach loyalty. That's one of your foundations.
Mm-hmm.
How do you weigh that against the performance that?
Yeah, and I don't think that, loyalty clearly is a two-way street, and so is trust and all that other stuff. And I think that one thing that, going back to where you drew that from, was things that I look for, or that I certainly want to make sure is at the forefront, is that can you trust this person right outside of here, and can you trust them that the messages that you're portraying to the team are getting relayed, and that they're allowing for to put your message into their own words, and that they're not out there looking for another job, or they're not giving the players mixed messages. I think that's the loyalty, that I'm looking for. The loyalty that I have is obviously just to do, put people in place that are, right for the football team. And so I'll look at each and every phase of our team as it relates to the coaching staff, as it relates to the players, and that process has obviously started. Just finished up meeting with the players and thanked them, and then I'll have conversations with the coaches throughout this week and next week.
You bringing Todd back as offensive coordinator? What's this day like for you, Mike, as a head coach? What was your final message to them?
Well, the final message was that I thanked them. I thanked the guys that started this process on April 18th. Had been through a lot. I thanked them for their dedication. Other than a few games, that I felt like, maybe we were outmanned. I felt like, we competed. Unfortunately, we were 5-6 in one-score games. That's something that had been a strength of ours in the past, and it wasn't. I asked them to stay in communication with. I don't want this to be a seasonal type of deal. I don't want it to be transactional. Try to build a connection with them, try to make relationships with them. You care about their family, you care about their children and things that they're doing. So I've asked them to communicate and stay in communication. I'd hope that they had learned some lessons along the way outside of football, and told them to thank everybody here that helped them do their job this year.
Mike, are you bringing Todd back as the offensive coordinator?
Our offensive coordinator and Todd, that'll be part of the conversations, and that'll be part of my evaluation, this week as it relates to the football team.
Any changes been made yet, Mike, on the coaching staff?
No, not yet. Just still, again, working through conversations with the players and having some meetings, and, I'll meet with the coaches and, continue that process.
When you look at offense in particular, Mike, and Todd's 2 years, numbers have gone down. Obviously, a lot of factors go into that with injuries and so forth. But, I guess what in your mind has he done best over the past couple of years?
Well, I think that there's a consistency. I think we've, built the offense around Derek. We've, had a lot of success in that regard. We have to protect our quarterback better. When you don't protect your quarterback, they get hurt or they turn the ball over. So we have to do that. We have to take care of the football. We gave it to our best player, and he turned it over this year, and he hadn't in the past. And so there's a lot of factors that go into performance, and we'll look at everything.
Why is it important to bring back a guy like Jeffrey Simmons?
Well, Jeff's under contract, I think. So.
But just in future with the negotiations, just what does he bring to this team?
Oh, man, leadership, toughness, accountability, performance, just every day coming to work with a great attitude. He plays through a lot of pain and discomfort. He played, through a lot of things in his career here. So those are things that I value and appreciate in a player.
Are you optimistic that Ryan will be your starting quarterback next year?
Well, we have a lot of guys here that are under contract. We have a lot of guys that want Ryan to get as healthy as he possibly can, and then go and be our quarterback and figure out things that are going to help us win. And then that's the case for a lot of guys. A lot of guys are that are under contract that finish the season not out there. So let's get everybody healthy and let's see where everybody's at, and then we can make some decisions.
So you don't feel comfortable right now committing to Ryan as the starter for next year?
Well, he's our starting quarterback. If he was healthy, he's our starting quarterback. You know what I mean? So that's all I can tell you. And right now, there's a lot of guys that aren't healthy and that didn't finish the game. I think we're going to talk a lot of hypotheticals 2 days after our last game. So, happy to talk a lot about things that I can answer, but I can't answer things that, are in the future.
There you go. Okay, there's some of Mike Vrabel today, end of the year. And I'm just going to go with a couple things that stood out to me. And one that I'm going to be honest, I got a bone to pick with the head coach.
Okay.
Your best player is what we've already talked about. Everybody knows it. Okay, he's the best player, I think, in the game when it comes to his position. Now, you can tell me about Josh Jacobs all you want. Derrick Henry's the best of the game. You going to bring up Derrick Henry fumbling? Really? Like that's the cause or at the root of these issues? Derrick Henry's fumbles? Did he fumble down the stretch? Yeah. But you know what he's also done since he's been here? Hasn't fumbled.
Well, carry the team.
And carry the team. So besides that, I'm sorry. Like, they got problems all over the place. There's a list, like it's pages long. And Derrick Henry fumbling is somewhere on there, but it's probably like 3/4 of the way down on page 3. Like, really? Derrick Henry, our best player, he turned it over? Really? Oh, you think Derrick Henry is at the root of this 7-game losing streak? Now, did he have some untimely fumbles? Yeah. In one game in particular, yeah. But how many games has Derrick Henry won you, Coach? He's won you a whole lot of games, too.
Quite a few.
Yeah. I don't really think Derrick Henry, your best player, turning the ball over, really had anything to do with about this season and this 7-game losing streak. And finishing, what was their record? 7-10?
Yeah.
7-10?
Which still feels weird. But
after starting 7-3?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think really Derrick Henry is at the root of this. Like I said, probably go to page 3 and go about 3/4 of the way down on problems in the 2022 season for the Tennessee Titans. That's about 3/4 of the way down on page 3, in my opinion.
What stood out for me is, talking about building the entire offense around your best player, which I know a lot of people have criticism of Todd Downing and the play calling. And this is just a theory I have. I don't know. Just listening to Coach Vrabel there and people's criticism of Todd Downing, and justifiably so. But could it be that he's doing exactly what Coach Vrabel wants him to do as far as running the football is concerned? He just said that, we built the offense around Derrick Henry. So the predictability and the boring offense and, all that kind of stuff could be exactly what Coach Vrabel, not necessarily Downey, but what Coach Vrabel wants them to do right now as far as giving them the best chance to win the football game includes putting the ball in the hand of your best player, which is clearly Derrick Henry, and, let the chips fall where they may, because that's what they've been doing. And, if he didn't want – Mike Vrabel seems to be the kind of guy to me that if he didn't want something that way, he'd probably say, hey, listen, stop doing that. And somebody would probably want to listen to him and do what they're told to do in that regard. So they intentionally built the offense this way around Derrick Henry running the football. And, I think all Titans fans throughout the entire summer here, and really the spring, let's not kid ourselves, it's the spring, because by the time we get to training camp, the decision's already been made. We're just trying to make the best of whatever decision was made in March. So for the Titans fans out there who want to complain about something, listen, March and April is your time. Go for it. Tell you everything you want, because by the time we get to July, well, how come we didn't sign this guy? No. All that's over. We've done that. The cake is in the oven. It's being baked, okay? We can't add ingredients. I just wonder if Titans fans might want to start at least thinking about life without Derrick Henry. I know that's hard to say. I know that's blasphemy. I know Derrick Henry has put up 8,300 yards in the last 7 seasons for this franchise. But I'm just saying, it's a situation where he is the best player at his position and is not getting you any wins. And I don't know what to do about that except to change to what is actually happening right now in the league.
Okay, I would like to address that on the other side. Plus, we'd like to hear from you the rest of the hour. 615-844-5600. We've left it open today on purpose because we knew a lot of you would want to react. We knew we would want to react to all things that has taken place from Saturday night in Jacksonville to now moving forward for the next 6 months, okay? So we'll have plenty of time to go over this, but I'm going to address that. Plus, there's been a list of candidates as now they will turn their attention to filling the general manager vacancy that has come out as well. We'll pass that along here on the McFarland Show, Nashville Sports Radio.
Nashville's first curling venue is here at T-Line Nashville. Come check out T-Line Nashville and experience the world's fastest growing winter sport today. Curling is a fun and simple sport that's a perfect outing for friends, corporate events, families, or parties. T-Line also has classic bowling and modern bowling mini games. With over 20 HD TVs, you can come watch your favorite teams and some of the best food and drinks here in Nashville in the large bar and grill area. They also have an outdoor area with a fire pit, and you can't forget the live music. T-Line Nashville is a one-stop shop for a great night out. Located at 106 Duluth Avenue and online at tlinenash.com. You can book your party now or give them a call at 615-439-1024. That's 615-439-1024. And make sure you give them a follow on Instagram and Facebook at T-Line Nash for all the news, events, and updates. T-Line Nashville. Nashville's first curling venue is here.
I studied Spanish in college and never got fluent. But then I tried Babbel.
Want the most effective way to learn another language? In just 15 minutes a day, Babbel's bite-sized lessons will have you learning another language in as little as 3 weeks.
Babbel is all conversation-based, so it gets you speaking quickly about things you actually talk about in the real world.
You'll really see a difference in how you can speak and how conversational you can be in just a few weeks.
Babbel isn't just lessons. You can listen to podcasts, play games, watch videos. You can even take live online classes with a language teacher. There are so many ways to learn with Babbel.
The lessons online and in the app make it easy to learn from pretty much anywhere.
University studies have shown that using Babbel for 15 hours is equivalent to a semester of college Spanish. If you want to learn a new language, there's no better way than Babbel. Go to Babbel.com to try for free. That's Babbel.com. Babbel.com.
Slim's Tender Mac Bowls are back. We start with a 3-cheese blend to make our delicious mac and top it with chopped hand-breaded tenders and Colby Jack cheese. Try the Tender Mac Bowl meal or the Buffalo Tender Mac Bowl meal, both served with Texas toast and a medium drink. But hurry, they're only around for a limited time. Download the Slim Chickens app to order and earn rewards.
WNSR Nashville Sports Radio would like to take this time to say congratulations to Greg Poe. Greg is a member of the 2023 class of the Tennessee Sports Writers Association Hall of Fame. Greg Poe has been a standard and staple of Nashville sports media. Congratulations to Greg Poe and the rest of the 2023 class of the Tennessee Sports Writers Association Hall of Fame. From your friends and family at WNSR Nashville Sports Radio.
News and notes on the Vols. By the way, Vince Ferrara will join us tomorrow on the program. Normally he does Mondays, but because of the season ending, we're like, hey, Vinny, can we do tomorrow instead? He's like, sure. Congratulations to VFL Eric Berry, who was just elected into the College Football Hall of Fame.
Very cool.
So
Boy,
Eric
what
Berry,
a player.
He was awesome.
Oh, he was special to watch at Tennessee. If you missed that,
was.
you missed something really special.
He was good. Also, on the Vols front, we'll talk about this with Vince tomorrow. Arizona State defensive tackle Omar Norman Lott. Twitter was blowing up in the last 30, 45 minutes.
Okay.
He is committed to the Vols.
Coming on out the desert. Welcome to Rocky Top.
Yep. So they get Arizona State defensive tackle Omar Norman Lott. He commits to UT. So we'll get into that with Vince tomorrow. Okay. So you have said the Titans are outdated. Their offense is outdated.
The offense, yes.
It's no longer hip. You're no longer doing what the rest of the league is doing.
No. It's not about being hip. I don't care. It's about it's not successful. It's not winning games. I don't want to look cool. I don't care. But it's just not winning games anymore. If it was winning games, I wouldn't care what it looked like. But, if you want to get somewhere, if you want to win games, you want to be successful as a franchise, this is what everybody else seems to be doing. That's my point.
Yeah, and I agree with you. I think the problem is until you have that quarterback, how do you do that?
Well, here's the issue with that, and I understand you. I understand you very clearly. You can't find them until you start looking. And as long as you continue to do what you've been doing, you're not going to look for them. You're kind of, because you're handcuffed to the system that you got. And you can't find them because you aren't looking for them. Because we're good with Ryan Tannehill. Or we're good with the next play-action quarterback that they can find. Jimmy Garoppolo or whoever it is. So unless you are looking for that game changer, the quarterback that can carry the franchise, unless you're looking for him, you're not going to find him.
Yeah, I'm thinking, look, if you saw the Kansas City Chiefs game before the Titans game on Saturday, it was boring. The Raiders were done. Josh McDaniels, by the way, I think we've learned he's not a head coach. I'm sorry, he's not.
Well,
he should be on Bill Belichick's staff, and he's a good OC, but he's not a head coach. We've now seen this act twice, and it doesn't look any different. Okay. Anyway, I digress. You only do a merry-go-round play for a touchdown in the NFL if you have Patrick Mahomes. Okay? If Alex Smith was their quarterback, they're not doing a merry-go-round play for a touchdown in the National Football League. Okay?
Was that play called back?
It was, but still, I'm saying it went for a touchdown before it was called back. Okay? Nobody does merry-go-round plays in the huddle before the snap in the NFL, unless you have Patrick Mahomes. And then you can get as cute as you want, right?
Yeah, well, I mean, he certainly helps with a lot of things out there.
So until you get that franchise elite quarterback, why can't you still change the way you operate and do more with the pass, even though you don't have that guy yet, and still have Derrick Henry? Why can't you do both?
Because, okay, and this is a point of disagreement that I have with a lot of people. Derrick Henry, I know a lot of people are looking at Derrick Henry as an offensive weapon or an accessory. No, he's not. Derrick Henry is an offensive system. He is not a weapon. He is not an accessory. He's a whole system that you are running. He is an offense in and of himself. So as long as you are running the Derrick Henry offense, you are not going to find a dynamic passer within that offense because it doesn't require one or call for one. It calls for a person that can take care of the football, that's really good on play action, and makes, smart decisions. It does not call for a guy who can line up in shotgun formation and throw the ball around the field. It doesn't need that. As a matter of fact, something like that hurts the offense because Derrick Henry doesn't get the ball 30 times in that offense. So, no, I don't think you can find him at the same time. I don't think you can just look while you – no. You got to go all in. Either we go run the ball or we go throw the ball. As long as Derrick Henry is here, if you want Derrick Henry to work – and listen, Darren, if you had Derrick Henry on this team, knowing who Derrick Henry is, what happens if we gave Derrick Henry the ball 13 to 14 times a game? Well, how's that going to look?
I don't know because they don't do that.
No, they don't do that. No, and you know
I don't know how to answer that.
You know what it looks like? It looks like 45 yards is what it looks like from Derrick Henry. If you give him the ball 13 to 14 times a game, it doesn't. He needs the ball 25, 30 times a game. He is a bell cow. He is an entire offensive way of being. I wish it was different. But when you run into somebody this good, and this happens across all sports, by the way, this happens in basketball. If you have Michael Jordan on your team, you run the offense through Michael Jordan. And if he shoots the ball 30 times, he shoots the ball 30 times. That's the offense. Like, what if we find the next breakout star? You ain't going to find the next breakout star with Michael Jordan on your team, with Kobe Bryant on your team, with Ja Morant on your team. You can find a couple of guys that can get in somewhere, but most of that is going to be dominated by the superstar. And this team has a superstar, and his name is Derrick Henry, and he's playing in an era where these superstars are no longer running backs. And I've said this, if the Tennessee Titans were playing this same style of football, this same type of football from 1970 through 2000, they would have won 3 Super Bowls by now because they're dominant. Listen, they're physical on both sides of the football. They punch people in the mouth. You know who they look like? They remind me of? The New York Giants is what they look like and remind me of. It's Otis Anderson and Phil Simms and Jeff Hostetler. Play action, throwing the ball to the tight end, hitting people all the time. Scary intimidation of people. That's who they are. But we don't do that no more. It's just, we went over the numbers earlier for those who were with us. The top 3 rushers in the NFL didn't make the playoffs. And when Darren and I started covering sports in 1998 in this town, the top 4 out of 5 all made the playoffs in dominating fashion. The game has just moved on. And I don't know what else to do about it. And it's tough. Listen, it took me a long time to get here. It took me a real long time to get here. This was a journey for me. I had to come through an epiphany. I had to sit and think for a while before I got here because I thought, why can't you just run the ball and win? Like, you run the ball and stop the run. Stop the run and run the ball and stop the run. You heard the formula, Darren. You've heard this, right? Mm-hmm. Run the ball and stop the run. Remember that?
Yeah.
Remember run the ball and stop the run? The Titans had 109 yards out of Derrick Henry on Saturday night. You know how many yards Jacksonville had? 17 yards rushing the ball. Who won the game? I don't know. He's run for 100 yards in 5 straight games, and they all lost. What's happened here? I don't think it's so much what the Titans are doing. It's just that the league has changed so much to the point to where the formula no longer is effective. That's my argument. It's not that the Titans are terrible. I mean, they got their own problems. But in all honesty, you got a guy who went for 1538. Any conventional football wisdom in your mind, Darren, is telling you 1,538 yards is a dominant year for a running back. 1,538 yards for anybody who's listening to this radio station who's over the age of 35, who's been following football for a long time. 1,538 yards wins you a lot of ball games. Anybody who's got that running back on their team is going to win a bunch.
Well, or 7. Because that's what they want, 7.
Yeah, that's what they want in this league.
Yeah, right.
Because that's where we're playing now.
Yep. Yeah. I understand. I just know that it's going to be difficult, which is why, let's say, what's it been now? 3 years or 2 years? How long?
For what?
3 summers ago, I sat there the entire summer and begged the Titans to bring in Tom Brady while everybody mocked me. Everybody laughed at me. Nah, Ryan Tannehill's good enough. I'm like, what? Tom Brady's over the hill. Tom Brady's old. I'm like, how about a franchise elite game changer for the first time since we've had a professional football team in this market? How cool would that be to actually have an elite quarterback in this market? Nah, Ryan Tannehill's good enough. That's why I sat there all summer long and got mocked. Nobody wants that old man here for saying Tom Brady. And I'm like, does anybody want an elite quarterback here? It's just so hard to do it. Because think about it. When all this is said and done, when the smoke clears, right now, the way the playoffs are set up, Miami Dolphins, do they have a chance? Hell no, they don't have a chance.
No.
Do the Seattle Seahawks have a chance? Hell no, they don't have a chance. No, they don't have a chance. Geno Smith, they do not have a chance.
I think they win this weekend, but okay.
You think they win this weekend?
I think they got a good shot, yeah.
Okay. Who do they play?
San Francisco.
Yeah, that's not happening.
Okay.
So, no, that's not happening. Okay. They don't have a shot. When the smoke clears, now San Francisco may be the team that's going to buck the trend, right? They may end up getting there with Brock Purdy. And you say, well, I guess if you get there with Brock Purdy, then.
I don't know about that, but we'll see. I mean,
we'll
listen,
see.
We'll try. They'll try it.
I mean, they've only won 10 in a row. So,
sure.
I mean, they're doing something right.
Sure.
And they've done it with Jimmy Garoppolo and Brock Purdy.
Hey.
So,
see,
those are not franchise elite quarterbacks. Last time I checked.
No, they're not. But you know when franchise elite quarterbacks become franchise elite quarterbacks? About now.
Yeah. Which, by the way, Justin Herbert hasn't done anything yet, so we'll see.
About now.
Right? We've been talking about it like it's time, dude.
About now.
It's time for you to win.
This is when it happens,
right.
Okay? So, this is when we separate the, I think he might be all right to, no, he's really good. No, he's legit. No, he's about now. So
that's why the Chargers-Jags game is very intriguing because one of these dudes that we're all praising is going to finally win a playoff game.
Yeah, and the other one's not.
That's right. That's exactly right.
The other one's going to have question marks all over his head for the next summer.
That's correct.
Well, is he really the guy? Well, he didn't win. I mean, listen, this is just where we are, and I'm just wondering if the Titans don't get one of these guys in this NFL, I don't know if they're going to be, in the conversation here because their style of football doesn't seem to be valued very much. And, and I don't know what to do about that. I mean, the NFL is moving. It's doing its own thing. Again, Josh Jacobs and Nick Chubb, and, these guys have been balling out, not just this year either, for a little while, and they don't get a whole lot from it. How many Josh Jacobs jerseys do you see around? How many Nick Chubb jerseys do you see? I mean, this is not, Eddie George, at the height of Eddie George back in the early 2000s, Eddie George jerseys were in hip-hop videos. I've got the proof, okay?
Yeah.
It was all over everywhere.
Yeah, it's a different time. It just is.
But they're running, a run-first type of thing here. So I don't even know right now because it's just crazy. It's crazy. I don't know where we are.
Johnny on Twitter, he tweets at us. Johnny, who listens in Vancouver. Johnny, we appreciate you listening every day from British Columbia. He said, if it was just you saying to bring Tom Brady. Oh, okay. No, that's not the one I wanted to read. That's a new tweet. Okay. This is what Johnny said. He said, diehard loyal fans of Nashville, two major sports franchises, know what results were produced when one of the two ran it back probably one too many times. Okay, Johnny is talking about the Preds. Mm-hmm. Says the Titans cannot follow the Preds' example of the late 2010s. Changes need to be made, to his point.
Yeah. That's what a lot of people have been saying. But, but what kind of changes? Changes need to be made. Yeah, that's good. What kind of changes need to be made?
He's just saying, hey, the Preds ran it back and said, hey, it'll look different next year. And it didn't work.
Oh.
And he's saying, hey, Mike Vrabel, don't tell us we're just going to run it back and everything's going to be okay. Look, I think Mike Vrabel, in what you just heard, he said it but didn't say it. The change is coming, right? That's what he said at the beginning. Like, it's professional sports, so change is inevitable. He was basically saying that. But, I mean, we're going to, look over everything and we're going to talk. And I'm not prepared to talk about this. But he's saying change is coming. All right, let's go to Doug. Doug is up next. Doug, what's up?
Guys, I like Mr. McFarland's theory about the ball game has changed. It is not a 3 yards and cloud of dust kind of football league. But
you have to be more specific, Doug, on which McFarland on this show. There's two.
The one that says the running does not.
Justin.
Okay.
Yes.
But he's Mr. as well. I prefer to both.
I was going to say, you just can't say Mr. McFarland because we need a little bit more specific.
It's the McFarland Show, after all. But you go right ahead, Mr. Doug.
So the thing that I'm saying as the devil's advocate, yes, it is a different league. You do have that running back. Maybe it does work, but there's one thing that you're not focusing on. It's a pass-happy league, so you have to have a pass-defending league. Our defensive backs look like JUCO ball players. He was always in trail, always getting lost. Every time I seen it third and long, I was just like, he's fixing to throw it. We don't have anybody to stop it. So, yes, maybe we can run and stop the clock and control the game, but we can't defend. When they're throwing the ball, we don't have defensive backs that look like Darrelle Revis or Mr. Woodson. We don't have that.
Doug,
just buyers.
Doug, questions for you, sir. Who has those guys now? Where's Darrelle Revis? Where's Woodson? They're gone, Doug. They're gone. And they're gone because the rules have changed, and I'm not sure we can have a Darrelle Revis anymore, Mr. Doug. I don't know if that's possible.
They have changed. But if we're going to try to play a pass-happy defense, we got to have pass-defending defensive backs. I'm sorry. They just look so bad. It's hard to watch you defend a pass-happy offense with those kind of players.
Understood. I just wonder who looks good. That's all I'm saying. If they look bad, and I'm not saying they're great, Doug. All I'm saying is who's looking good right now, defending the ball in the NFL? Who's the team that's like, man, you don't want to throw the ball against them because they're always, getting interceptions and knocking things down. Who's that team?
Point taken, but what I'm saying is, and it's across the board for the Titans, we don't coach well. Our quarterbacks don't look good. Our defensive backs don't look good. Our linebackers don't look good. We don't coach well. I mean, Munchak had an offensive line that was awesome. And he's not walking through that door, but I promise you, they don't look like a good offensive line. You either have to be a pass-defending line or a road grader offensive line, and we're neither. So it's hard to watch. There's a lot of places. The boat is sinking, and there's a lot of holes everywhere. But I get your point of you can't run the ball, but you also have to be able to defend the ball. And I can't remember the defensive back. Every time you looked, he was always running after somebody. And I thought this is just so ugly to watch.
I got you, man.
Yeah, no, there's a lot of truth
there.
Man.
Thank you,
Doug.
Mr. McFarland. Thank you.
Look, I think Dallas was the best opportunistic defense, I think, in takeaways this year. I think that's right.
I mean,
Dallas and San Francisco. Really, by the way, Jacksonville is really good. I know they're way up there. The team the Titans just lost to, they're really good in takeaways.
The Dallas has got the Surtain kid, correct? Patrick Surtain's son. Doesn't he play for the Cowboys?
No, they have Diggs. Diggs is Mr. Opportunistic.
No. Yes, but he plays for Jacksonville. I was talking about
no. Diggs plays for Dallas.
Diggs plays for Dallas.
Yes.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
I got lost there. Okay, I'm sorry.
All right, let's step away. 615-844-5600. More of the McFarland Show. Yes, next.
Located at 5410 Murfreesboro Road in the heart of Laverne, City Slickers is one-stop shopping for all your liquor, beer, and wine needs and has been a multiple winner annually in the Best of Rutherford County voting for Best Liquor Store and Top Wine Shop. Featuring the lowest prices, the best customer service with unsurpassed knowledge, City Slickers offers the largest craft beer selection in Rutherford and southeastern Davidson counties and has beer on tap at its Growler filling station. City Slickers also sells mixers, sodas, snacks, tobacco products, and the Tennessee Lottery, and can place special orders and assist with all your events and even wedding planning. Make sure you follow City Slickers on all their social media or just give them a call at 615-280-7469. That's 615-280-7469. Located in the heart of Laverne, City Slickers.
It's not easy being the one everyone counts on to keep your operation running, no matter the weather or supply chain hiccup. But we get you, Raymond in Buffalo, Maria in Miami, and Jules in Troy, taking control of everything that's under your control. At Grainger, we're here for you with high-quality supplies for every industry, plus real-time product availability and access to experts ready to help. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Hi, this is Joe Cordell with the law firm Cordell & Cordell. Divorce can be complicated, especially if children are involved. If you're a father and want to protect your role in your children's lives, remember Cordell & Cordell. We've helped men with matters like these for 30 years, and we'd love to help you.
Online at CordellCordell.com, 317-322-0122, 101 West Ohio Street, Suite 1250, Indianapolis, Indiana, 46204. Joseph Cordell, licensed in Missouri and Illinois only.
Greg Pogue back once again to tell you about Bongo Java, Nashville's oldest and most celebrated coffee company, now also located in the Omni Nashville Hotel. Reward yourself for surviving Nashville traffic with fresh, locally roasted coffee, classic handcrafted espresso drinks, and fresh baked goods all day long. And free Wi-Fi, so you don't have to work from home. Number one in customer service. You made it through the traffic. Reward yourself with a perfect pick-me-up at Bongo Java. Fresh coffee, delicious treats, great atmosphere. Open 6 a.m. until 2 p.m. daily. Bongo Java at the Omni Nashville Hotel.
It's the afternoon stretch with Zach Williams and Bruno Reagan.
Coming off his second straight SEC win, this one at the bank. Clark Lee, thanks so much for joining us.
Hey, this is my favorite time of the week to be with you guys, so I'm happy to be here.
If you think that's not going to be on a promo, Clark, you are sadly mistaken,
Clark,
sir.
you just made the haters so furious, so thank you very much.
The afternoon stretch. Afternoon stretch with Zach Williams and Bruno Reagan.
Good news, DeMar Hamlin
absolutely
has left the Cincinnati hospital, which is really cool.
That's excellent.
That is a week later. A week.
Mm-hmm.
Who would have thought that when we were doing the show on
Nobody.
Tuesday? A week later, he's on his way home.
You would have thought he'd been in there a month.
He is traveling back to Buffalo. So great news. What I was going to read, Johnny's other tweet that I didn't realize he had just sent it in. When I went to read it, he said that there was a certain afternoon drive host on another station that was also leading the Tom Brady charge. Well, okay, Johnny, you may be correct. I'm saying at the station I was on 2 years ago when we were doing that, when I sat there the entire off season, I was the only person on that station that was saying, bring Tom Brady. Everybody else was like, Ryan Tannehill's good enough. You don't need Tom Brady. He's old. And I felt like, nobody. I just looking around like, no one's with me? Ryan Tannehill. Of course, it didn't take long after last year's Cincinnati loss. Everybody's like, get Ryan Tannehill out of here. Ryan Tannehill, get him out of here. Oh, my God, just bum. Oh, I tried to talk you into Tom Brady, and you weren't interested.
Yeah.
So, what about that? Remember when I said bring Tom Brady, and you're like, Ryan Tannehill's good enough. But that was the whole station. So, yeah, I mean, look, Johnny, you may be right. I wasn't sure what was being said elsewhere. I could only go on where I was at the time. No one was interested in Tom Brady.
It's a hard pill to swallow that the game is changing. It really is. I mean, I understand because it's taking everything you know about football and throwing it on its head.
Yeah.
And that's what makes it so difficult because now you don't even know what you're looking at anymore. Because, the whole game now is just so that dynamic that was a cornerstone of your understanding of football is running the ball is now a lot less relevant all of a sudden. So what does that mean? So what are we talking about then? So what's happening now? And that can take a while to really, I'm still working through it too, y'all. Listen,
Well, I'm just simply saying the Saints were able to make it work with Drew Brees, with Alvin Kamara, and they were still able to run the ball. He was a number one running back, right? Yeah. The Minnesota Vikings throw a ton with Kirk Cousins, but they still have Dalvin Cook.
Yeah.
So I'm just saying, why can't you? The problem is when you don't have that guy even remotely close, then what do you do? I mean, so if you don't have a running game and you don't have a guy that can sling it all around the place, then what? If you're predictable throwing the ball and you can't run, doesn't that make it even harder to do what you do?
I guess so, but Alvin Kamara also caught the ball a lot out of the backfield.
A lot.
So he's more Marshall Faulk.
Yeah.
Instead of
LaDainian Tomlinson, Marshall Faulk.
Instead of Earl Campbell.
Yeah.
And Eric Dickerson, which is what Derrick Henry is.
And Dalvin Cook is the same.
And Dalvin Cook is the same. And by the way, the Vikings haven't won the Super Bowl either.
No.
They've had limited success in the playoffs, the same way another certain team around here has also had when they've gotten into the playoffs as well, and they have not been able to get over certain humps. I'm not saying you can't win with this. It is clear you can still win ball games, but you're not going to go deep into the playoffs and make a run and win a Super Bowl. In this NFL, I don't think. I'm coming to this conclusion without having a marquee quarterback who can carry the franchise. That is what you need.
Okay. I'm not arguing with you. I've been saying that for a long time.
Yeah, and they don't have one.
Like I said, I was screaming for Tom Brady, and everybody's like, huh?
They have a the Titans have a complimentary quarterback.
We've never had that guy in this market. We've never had that guy.
Steve was the closest thing. But Steve.
But nah.
Yeah, he was.
But that wasn't his fault because the system wasn't set up for them to do it that way.
Yeah, not that way. No, to where he had the explosive passing numbers.
But the league wasn't doing that.
No, the league wasn't doing that at that particular moment and point then. Yeah, where Steve was throwing for 5,000 yards and putting up 40 touchdowns a year. No, that's not what the league was doing at that particular time. But Steve, during, like a 4-year stretch there, could absolutely, if needed and did at times, carry the entire franchise. It was not Eddie George's team anymore. It was Steve McNair's team. He was the one that the offense was running through at that particular moment for a time.
Apparently, the Titans have 8 candidates for their general manager job. They are interested in 2 with the San Francisco 49ers. They have asked permission to speak with their director of pro personnel, Ran Carthen.
Okay.
Ran Carthen, and also their assistant GM, Adam Peters. So that's 2 guys in the 49ers front office. That's a pretty good front office. They've been doing a whole lot of good here lately. So Ran Carthen, who is the director of pro personnel, and their assistant GM, Adam Peters. Now, we know they have 2 in-house already that are considered candidates, right? Ryan Cowden and Monty Ozefor. So those 2 guys are already there. So that's 4 candidates. They're also interested in Cardinals Vice President of Player Personnel, Quentin Harris. They're interested in Bills Director of Pro Personnel, Malik Boyd. Browns Assistant GM, Glenn Cook. And the Bears Assistant GM, Ian Cunningham.
Okay. Interesting combination.
So those are the 8 candidates that
Arizona,
have surfaced.
San Francisco, Chicago, Buffalo.
Yeah.
And the 2 here.
Bears, Browns, Bills, Cardinals, 2 with the 49ers.
The Browns. I missed the Browns. Okay.
Yeah, 2 here. Yeah, Browns assistant GM, Glenn Cook.
I want to get into this a little bit later in the week because I'm just curious about these guys' makeups and where they're coming from and, where they were before. Everybody is off of a tree.
It's hard.
Yeah.
Justin, because
I know.
We never know anything about these guys.
We don't.
When they hired John Robinson, we're like,
we didn't know.
Huh? Okay, so he was in Tampa.
They interviewed
Spent
Chris
a long
Ballard.
time. Chris Ballard, who went
And
to Indianapolis.
Ryan Pace, who ended up in Chicago.
Who's already out.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's a very inexact science. We know less about them than we do about coaching candidates because
No
at least
question.
we hear about coordinators.
Yep.
We know OCs and DCs and special teams coaches, and we know a little bit more about that. But these guys, the front office guys, director of player personnel for the Southeast region of the – we don't really know. Who are you responsible for? Who did you stand on the table? Who did you draft?
Right.
Who was your guy that you said, that was me? I spotted him,
It's
at some
hard.
random field in South Carolina, and I knew that was our guy.
Look, you have to have inside people. You just do.
Yeah.
You just have to talk to people that are in that world, in the front office world, and they can tell you, hey, this person's really good. They're really sharp. This guy's a dud.
Yeah.
Okay. Because we're not going to know.
Yeah. All those players that he knew.
We can just look at their resume, right?
Yeah.
But we don't know. We don't know.
Yeah.
What they're.
Because when you draft a guy, you don't know.
No.
You don't know. We mentioned Alvin Kamara.
Like, you tell me, Ryan Cowden, we've talked about it. I don't know. Did he disagree with John Robinson?
I don't know.
Or did they agree? Or I don't know. What is he a candidate because on a lot of these bad picks or bad signings, was he in the room going, hey, I'm not maybe this is not a good idea.
I don't want him.
Right, this is probably not
This
a good
whole
idea.
Isaiah Wilson guy, I don't think that's
Vic
a good
Beasley,
thing.
I
don't think we should do that.
I know you're in charge, John,
Yeah.
but I've talked to people in Atlanta. They're like Vic Beasley.
I'm voting no on this one. Yeah.
Like he doesn't love football.
Yeah.
I don't know that.
What did he do in Carolina?
I don't know.
Who did he pick? Was he the one who found Steve Smith? Or was that somebody else?
Right. Exactly. All right, we'll step away. Final break. Come back. Wrap up Monday's show next.
Are you looking for a trusted partner who knows AT&T business inside and out? ABS Communications is an organization built on the premise that telecom solutions and working with companies like AT&T can often be complicated, and the customer needs someone to help them navigate through these complexities. They make complex simple. Whether it's helping maintain, manage, or secure your business, ABS Communications is here to help all your business telecom and mobility needs. Their business was built with the goal of simplifying the process of connectivity for the customer and establishing a long-term relationship of trust through transparency and accountability. ABS Communications is a top 5 AT&T authorized agent with over 200 years of AT&T technical experience. You can call Mark and the gang at 615-349-8588, or you can visit their website at abscomm.net. And remember, mention the McFarland Show to ABS, and you could get up to $250 in a Visa gift card for new ABS business customers.
Are you tired of your current vehicle? Maybe looking for a new or pre-owned vehicle? Hey guys, it's Zach. Hayes Nissan of Rivergate is the best choice for your vehicle needs. Located at 1550 Gallatin Pike North in Madison, Hayes Nissan of Rivergate has been serving the Middle Tennessee community for over 3 decades. That gives you confidence that Hayes Nissan of Rivergate can find the perfect vehicle for your lifestyle and your budget. Their friendly and knowledgeable staff will make sure you are taken care of. I should know because I've seen it firsthand. Every vehicle I've purchased has been from Hayes Nissan of Rivergate, and I love the entire process. Now, I don't want you to forget about their award-winning parts and service department. It has everything you need to get you back on the road. Go visit them on the web at nissanofrivergate.com. They're open there 24/7, 365 days a year. Or give them a call at 615-865-7220. Again, that number is 615-865-7220. That's Hayes Nissan of Rivergate, where your dollar always goes farther. Did you know there's a place where you can get good neighbor service and surprisingly great rates on home and auto insurance? Yep, and that place is, ta-da, State Farm. Here's the deal. State Farm agent Austin Hardy is your go-to agent in the Middle Tennessee community for the service you desire at the price you want. So stop shopping around. State Farm agent Austin Hardy has you covered. Call 615-810-9999 for your surprisingly great rates today. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. Individual premiums will vary by customer. All applicants subject to State Farm underwriting requirements.
It's a Bill King Show.
Somebody asked me, this ascension of Tennessee football, is it sustainable? I think it is sustainable. Their recruiting ranking school. You can get A-plus personnel to Rocky Top, Tennessee. And the state is now way better than it ever was in its past, producing players.
Weekday mornings beginning at 6 on Sports Radio 560 on 95.9 FM.
is out as Arizona Cardinals head coach. Lovie Smith out as the head coach of the Texans. The Titans have requested some interviews for their general manager position. When they were looking for their next general manager, when Rustin Webster was the GM, it took them how long to find John Robinson?
10 days to hire John Robinson.
So, to hire him.
Yes.
So, if they're requesting these interviews, that means this process is beginning on January the 9th. So, do we think here in the next couple of weeks there will be a new GM in place?
I think it's possible. I mean, listen, Miss Amy meets somebody. She really likes somebody. She asks the room. They do another round of interviews. I don't see any reason why, or you know what? Maybe Darren. She says, you know what? We didn't look at John Robinson closely enough when we hired him to begin with. Maybe we want to take an extra few days and look over a couple of other people or breathe or sleep or eat or whatever you want to do about it to make sure that we're getting the right guy this time. Maybe. I don't know. And we also have to look at who else is hiring for GMs. How competitive is the field? You know, how many other guys are going to sign somebody? Obviously, we know Arizona's looking for a GM now. I'm not sure who else is looking for a GM. To me, the GM field right now seems to be relatively thin compared to the coaching field. I think we have 5 coaching openings right now, but I'm not sure how many GM openings we've got.
You used the word competitive. Do we get a competitive game tonight? Remember, they kick off at 6:30 tonight. 6:30, Georgia, TCU, national championship game.
I think the first half is competitive. I'm not sure about the second.
Man, I want this game to be competitive, but I just don't see it. I just don't. I hope so.
You don't think it's going to be 31-3 in the first half, do you?
No.
It's not going to be bad.
No.
Money game bad?
I think in the end, Georgia's just going to pull away. They're just going to be.
Yeah.
They're going to win by.
We got more horses in the barn, man.
They're going to win by at least. They're going to win by 17 or more. Yeah. That's what it feels like. I hope I'm wrong. I want a close game. I do.
Be an amazing story if TCU can pull this off.
So we'll be back at it tomorrow. Find out who's our national champion. A lot more to discuss. By the way, Pred's in Ottawa tonight as well. Have a great rest of your day. Stay tuned. Afternoon Stretch is next.